In today's video, we're going to be making cast iron venison meatballs. Can you believe that? Man, I'm looking forward to this. This is a great recipe. We thoroughly enjoy this, and we love to make venison meatballs for dinner. Our wild game recipe for today actually calls for ground sausage and also ground hamburger meat to go along with the venison. So if you guys are ready, let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to get it all mixed up and we're going to get ready and cook this. Now, we're probably not going to make it like you're used to seeing it made, but we're going to make it Mr. Cast Iron style. Okay, just a quick rundown of our ingredients. We've got 1 pound of ground venison. We've got 1 pound of hot pork sausage, and then we got about 1.5 pounds of ground beef that we're going to put in with this. We're also going to mix this today with panko breadcrumbs. These are just plain. We're going to add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce to it. Also going to add a little bit of Italian 5 cheese, so that's interesting. And then we're going to chop up some green onions and put that in there as well. We're going to add our house special, which is salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. And also, I've got 3 eggs. Now, generally what my rule of thumb is for cooking something like this is I use 1 egg per pound of meat. So we've got a little over 3 pounds, so we're going to put 3 eggs in with this. Let the breadcrumbs soak that up. Keep that all together, and we're going to get ready and form those up. So we're going to get started doing that, mix this up, and we'll be back here in just a minute to show you these. Okay, we got our ground beef in here. We got our pound of ground venison, ground pork sausage. We got 3 eggs in here. I chopped up some of those green onions. We got just about, I don't know, about 1/2 cup or so of those. I'm going to add that to that. I rarely measure anything, but just for the sake of this video, I went ahead and measured out about 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs, and that's just a binder to kind of help keep all that together. Our salt, pepper, and garlic, well, I'm not going to waste time trying to sprinkle that on there, so I'm going to add just about, gosh, I don't know, maybe 2 tablespoons of that. That ought to be pretty good and flavorful. And on our salt, pepper, garlic, our house recipe, we basically do 1 to 1. 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of pepper, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and 1 tablespoon of onion powder. Also, I'm going to add a little Worcestershire sauce to this, probably, about that much right there. Maybe a little bit more. How about that, just to grow on? Now, we have, some 5 cheese Italian cheese. It's shredded low moisture, part skim mozzarella, provolone, Parmesan, Asiago, and Romano cheese. So I thought that would be pretty flavorful in here. And so we're going to add some of that. This is an 8-ounce package, I think, isn't that right? Yeah, 8 ounce. So we're going to add probably about 1/2 package of that, maybe a little more. And we'll get ready and mix all this together. We just kind of want to get this combined here. We don't really want to over mix it. We just want to get all the ingredients combined, especially that egg and the breadcrumbs, get all that mixed in. So once we get that done, we'll come back and we'll show you how we're going to cook this up. Okay, well, we've got all this mixed together now real well, and that's a good batch of meat there for meatballs. I've got my 12-inch cast iron skillet. This is the one that I use almost every day, and you can use whatever type of oil that you like to use. My favorite is bacon grease, so I've got about 3 tablespoons of bacon grease in here. And at this point, with this kind of mixture that we just made up, you have so many options you could do. You could even actually make a venison meatloaf, which I have on this channel before, and you could certainly put that together and make a great meatloaf. But what we're going to do today is just make some meatballs, and I'm just going to take a little ice cream scoop and kind of ball these up a little bit, and we're going to fry these in bacon grease. I've got my skillet heating up here to about medium. You don't want your skillet real hot to make it splash and everything like that. So we're just going to put these together, and we're going to brown these meatballs on every side. And Then we have options at that. I mean, you could do several things. There's several recipes out there of different things that you can do with meatballs. I mean, some people just brown them in the skillet like we're doing here, and then just kind of get them browned on all sides, and then add them to a casserole dish or something like that. I mean, you could even do it in a cast iron skillet in the oven and bake those off with different types of things. You could, oh gosh, you could put, you know, you could put spaghetti sauce in there, marinara sauce. You could do all sorts of things. And like right here on the stove top now, when you're frying these, another alternative that you could do once you get these fried is you could make a brown gravy to go along with these. There's so many options, I mean, that you can do. You can make spaghetti and meatballs with it. You could make a meatball sub if you wanted to. You could just eat the meatballs like they are, which is probably what I'm going to do tonight. I don't think I'm going to make any kind of spaghetti because of the starch and everything. It's kind of bad for Teresa and probably bad for me too. I don't know, but anyway, for a diabetic, it's certainly not real good for her, so we have to kind of watch what we eat. But she can certainly eat venison meatballs like this, and so we're going to get ready and fry these up. I don't want to overcrowd my skillet. Now that's one thing you need to keep in mind. Be sure and leave room around your meatballs so they're able to cook and get air and everything too. And we'll just brown them on all sides and everything. We'll let these go for a little bit, and we'll come back here in a little bit and show you what they look like once we get them kind of browned up a little more. Okay, well these have been browning down nicely, and you know, my wife can change her mind, so I thought maybe I could too. So what I did, I took and broke out another 12-inch skillet, and since I had all these brown, I just wanted to add a couple more to my skillet. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to add a jar of marinara pasta sauce to this. And all you really want to do is just pour that over the top of it like this right here. While we were gone, I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. And so once we get all this poured over all these meatballs, kind of just coat them real good. Then we're just going to take and pop this skillet into this 350 degree oven for just about 20 minutes. And then we'll pull those out here in just a few minutes and show you what those look like. We're going to keep browning these up, by the way. Boy, they look good. My goodness. You know, you could make these smaller if you wanted to. I like a big meatball like this. But, you know, with that much meat, you could have made, gosh, no telling how many. But, you know, the great thing about meatballs is if you don't use them all, you can always freeze them. And then when you need them again, you can bring them out and reheat them and use them in whatever type of dish you want to use. So we're going to let these cook up a little bit more, and we'll be back here in just a minute. Okay, well, we got all those meatballs fried up, cooked up. They're done. We cooked them through and through to about they were about between 150 and 165 on that. And man, I mean, they got a great color to them. But you know, you want to make sure if you're cooking them, you know, to freeze, you want to cook them through and through. If you're just cooking them where you're going to put them in the oven, then you know, you can just brown them on both sides. And matter of fact, speaking of the oven, our oven has shut off. I had to increase the time on this to 30 minutes. I said originally I was going to do it for 20 minutes. And but I did it for 30 because I had forgot that I didn't preheat my skillet. So we did that for 30 minutes, and I want you to look at those meatballs in marinara sauce. So we're going to go ahead and get ready and plate this up, and we'll show you what this looks like here when we get her plated up and do a little taste test. How about that, huh? Wow, that is awesome right there. Let me get you one more shot of that. Look at that. My goodness gracious. Woo! All right. We'll get her plated up and we'll be right back. All right. Well, I want you to look at these, man. Is that not good looking meatballs right there? I mean to tell you, and I cut one open here. See, they're done through and through, man, and they are so moist and juicy because of those breadcrumbs and that egg. The deer meat, venison, and the hamburger meat and the pork, all that combined, you know, with the egg and the salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder. We had Worcestershire sauce in there, and my goodness, what a combination of stuff. So let's give this a try here with some of that sauce. Wow. I wish you could really taste that. And I hope you guys try to give us a try sometime because it's such an easy recipe. And it's so good for so many things. Like I was saying earlier, you could use this for spaghetti and meatballs. You could use this, you know, as a meatball sub. If you didn't want to make meatballs, you could have took that mixture that I made up and make you a wonderful meatloaf. I mean, it's great, and then you could have, you know, meatloaf sandwiches or whatever left over. There's just so many things that you can do with this type of thing, and you know, we're real pleased with that. I can't wait for Teresa to get home to give that a try. But in the meantime, YouTube has left you a video right here made specifically for you. Click on that, and we'll see you guys over there. Y'all have a great day. It's Mike with Mr. Cast Iron.